Do good, Maverick. Go here. Welcome to podcast episode number 147. They sold you a career, but did you buy a cage? There's a lot of people that they were sold a career, a specific career path, where when they were in school, it seemed like everyone was trying to get into these careers, into these jobs, into these corporate ladders, into the rat race, basically. Whereas when you are in school, it seems like almost everyone is kind of, really trying to get into those jobs. But oftentimes when we get those jobs, when you get inside, it's kind of like everyone is wishing to escape. Maybe they are still grateful for having the job and for having the income, but whether they are saying it or not, it's often the case that they are dreaming about escaping. Isn't that kind of strange? Peter Thiel, he has this quote where he basically says that he was trying to become a lawyer, and he got an education, became a lawyer or attorney, and got into this really prestigious law firm, and got what I guess you call a safe, secure job where he could climb the corporate ladder. And he got the job. When he was in school, it was like, people were really wanting those kind of jobs, wanting to get into those careers. But when he actually got the job and looked at things from the inside, it was very, very different. By the way, I'm out walking. There's this rock in the road. Guess you should throw it out so someone doesn't drive on it. But when he came into that job, when he finally got the job that he had been wanting, it was very different from the inside. It was like almost everyone was trying to escape. Or not really trying, but wanting to escape. And I think it was like 5 months into it, he decided to escape. And once he had made his decision to escape that law firm job, one guy that had been working there for years went up to him and said something like, it was inspiring or good to know that the escape from Alcatraz was possible. So he made the decision to leave that job, and he ended up becoming a billionaire. What would have happened if he had not escaped? Of course, there are people escaping jobs and becoming broke as well. That's not my point, but oftentimes we are sold one thing, like, oh, this fantastic career, career. Why do they call it a career? A career, wow. It has to be amazing. No, actually not. It can suck. I'm not saying a job is a wrong thing. Hard work is good, laziness is bad. But the thing is, a career, call it what it is, a job. Stop fooling people. Yeah, it's a career because you can climb on the corporate ladder. You can start on one level and you can kind of climb your way up. Yeah, but the winner of the rat race is still a rat. Oftentimes, even if you climb the ladder, even if you climb the corporate ladder, as they call it, you're still trapped. You're still locked into that kind of 9 to 5. Or sometimes if you climb the ladder, it ends up being even longer work days. You might get even less freedom. But if you were sold one thing and ended up finding out it was very different, which I guess is the case for a lot of people, the modern education system is basically what I think is one of the biggest scams in the history of the world, especially in America. Now I'm in Norway, so it's a bit different, but still, I think it is one of the biggest scams out there. Young kids are funneled into the school system, where they oftentimes end up wasting years of their life. and tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. And there's a really special rule when it comes to college debt in America. This is one of the few types of debt that you can't get rid of, even if you get, if you become personally bankrupt. There are kind of deals or programs you can get into where you can work for a few years to get rid of your debt. But when it comes to school loans, college loans, that's not really one of them. Crazy. School, extra education, it's supposed to teach you things that will help you get better results. But is it really doing that? Oftentimes it's not. That's one of the big reasons why people are bragging about the education in itself. If they wanted to brag, shouldn't they be bragging about the results that their education helped them get? Well, that rarely seems to be the case these days. So I guess the school system is so bad. Many of these colleges and degrees, they are so bad and useless, and they're not really working that well to help people get a result. And oftentimes the result is basically just a job that they oftentimes, not always, but very oftentimes, they could have gotten without the college degree in the first place. So what have they done? Well, they're bragging about degrees, being a graduate. Wow, you're a graduate. Wow. What does that mean? It means I took this education. Wow, what did you learn? What does it allow you to do now or help you do now that you couldn't do before? Well, I got this job. Yeah, couldn't you just have gotten a job before? Yeah, but then I wouldn't have been a graduate in the job. This is like how many of those conversations is like. I was chatting with a guy, and I was also on a call with him, like a few weeks ago now, a couple of weeks ago, something like that. And he had spent several years on extra education after primary school. Ah, interesting. So what's the education about? I don't even remember the name of the degree. It was something about science or something like that. Okay, interesting. So are you going to work with that or something like that? Are you going to pursue a career in that field, something like that? But no, he was not. Okay, but why are you doing it? He had already done several years, and he just had a few months left, or about a year left, and then he could call himself a graduate. Yeah, but why? What's if you're not going to use it? What's the point? No, in his country, it was like you had really kind of succeeded. You were not looked down upon that much if you were a graduate. And in his country, after the school, they also had to do, if they wanted to use the career or the degree, there was some kind of requirement that I think they had to do 1 year of almost free work for the government. Yeah, crazy stuff. He was not really sure if he was going to do that, but he had basically spent, I think it was about 5 or 6 years, something like that, to get this degree that he's going to get in a few months from now if things go well. But yeah, Why spend 5 years, 5-6 years to get a degree that you're not even planning to use, just to be called, just to have the privilege of being called a graduate? That's messed up. That's where we're at. That's where we are at. He was sold a career, and I'm not really in his case, I'm not really sure what he was sold. But yeah, it's kind of sad because he seems to be a great guy with talent. He could do a lot of amazing things. So I spent 5 years on that, you know. Anyway, if you're looking for an escape, if you find yourself in a situation where you want to escape the matrix with its 9-to-5 rat race, I might have an idea for you. Just to be clear, I'm not an expert at this. I'm basically kind of in the same process myself. And the last few weeks I've been interviewing several real-life success stories of people that are making at least $10,000 in profit per month by running a paid community online. And it has been mind-boggling. I'm going to interview at least 30 of them for my online education and community platform that I'm building, terrific30.com. But yeah, if you want to build your own community cash cow, I highly recommend you check out communitycashcows.com. There you can learn from those real life success stories, and you can also connect with a bunch of other people that are in the process of building their own paid community. So yeah, communitycashcows.com. God bless.